This is Drosera Graomogolensis, a beautiful South American sundew frequently sought after in cultivation. In this video, I'm going to go over basic information on the species and dive into cultivation tips for those growing it or interested in growing it. Drosera Graomogolensis is part of the Drosera villosa species complex, which is a clade of South American sundew species. The species under good lighting typically bears dark red leaves and lacks obvious petioles, which are the non-glandular sections of individual leaves. Drosera Graomogolensis also has an interesting tendency to grow coalescent over long periods of time, where it'll form a tall stack of dead foliage. In situ, Drosera Graomogolensis is found at intermediate to highland elevation. Its range is widespread, allowing for a good amount of natural variation amongst different populations. Okay, now on to cultivation. I grow Drosera Graomogolensis under strong lighting and pretty consistent watering, meaning I don't generally let the tray dry out for a long time. The media is perlite heavy since I've heard they have a preference for well-draining soils, and they tend to grow very long roots. The additional perlite does seem to actually make a positive difference in the growth pattern of the species. For humidity, it appears to be very flexible. However, it's possible that some strains are pickier than others. The thing is, 99% of Drosera Graomogolensis in cultivation, including mine, are probably from the exact same location, which is Itacambira, with other locations being quite a bit rarer at the time. Right now, my humidity levels average around 50%, but I've heard of people who grow it at a consistent 30% relative humidity, which is pretty darn low. I'm guessing it just needs to be acclimated well to stand those conditions. As stated before, Drosera Graomogolensis likely does prefer more humidity given its native range. Here's a quarter for size reference. It's a bit larger than the quarter, so compared to other sundews, it's average size, maybe a little bit above average. Drosera Graomogolensis propagates easily through leaf cuttings, and it occasionally will produce new growth points based on what I've seen and heard. I've also heard it can take through root cuttings, but I've never personally tried, and I wouldn't recommend it other than a last resort. That's all I've got on this species. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll be back in the next video.